Hi, and welcome to episode one, the AI knows nothing until asked. Okay, so I think it's fair to say that most people assume that AI has ultimate knowledge and knows everything. And really, that's just not the case. And I think it's really important to understand this before we get on into talking about more things in detail. So let's have a think. When you first open a AI account, a GPT account, before you ask a single question, your AI knows very little. All it has is its core knowledge. This is pattern recognition, so that it can understand and read and recognize patterns in language and the context. Also has a large language model, which helps it then construct its replies. It doesn't have any knowledge, doesn't know any facts, doesn't know any details, doesn't know who you are. It's the same as a limbic system, or what people sometimes call the lizard brain. So it's working on instinct pretty much until you ask that first question. And that's why your questions are so important. So let's have a look at your questions. So for me, a question is like a set of keys that you're giving your AI to go find certain pockets of knowledge to be able to unlock the answer. So let's give it an example. Please, can you tell me about Big Ben in London? So by asking that question, what you've done is provide it with two sets of keys. One set of keys to unlock the knowledge about what is Big Ben, and another set of keys to unlock the knowledge about what is London. It can then review all of that information, use its large language model to then reframe a question, an answer back to you that explains exactly what Big Ben is and where it is in London and all the knowledge you could ever want to know about that landmark and that place. But it's also important to understand the hidden context that you sometimes put in your phrasing. So I could ask what I think is exactly the same question, but it's actually giving the AI a huge amount of extra context. So for example, if I said, I'm going to London in June, and I'm really interested in knowing more about Big Ben, it will give it the same keys that it had before to unlock the information about Big Ben and about London, but you've inadvertently given it some more context. One, you've given it a temporal position, so a clever way of saying it knows you're going to be in London in June, so it knows where you're going to be in place and the geography as well. But the other thing is, by saying I'm really interested in knowing more about Big Ben, you've given it some clear signals that that kind of thing is of great interest for you. So if you don't ask any more questions of it, it will basically think you are purely fascinated in big clock towers and bells, and it has no other context other than that to frame its understanding of who you are and what you're interested in. So this might all sound quite simple, but it does require a paradigm shift in the way that you think. An AI isn't actually intelligent. It's simply reactive, and it's got a huge collection of tools to be able to access all that knowledge. So it's really, really important that you frame your questions carefully, because every question that you give your AI will shape its future behavior. And also having that understanding that it learns through that inference, and question upon question is going to build a much richer tapestry of yourself, your interests, the areas that you're curious about, and also possibly what gets you excited. So it's really important that you recognize the power of your question, because that's where the intelligence begins, with you. So thank you for your time again. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And next week, my next episode will be explaining that your AI will lie to you. Thank you.